Hi, welcome. On this video, I'm going to be continuing my discussion on the working dog dynamic. On the last video, my phone rang, it cut me off. I was right in the middle of discussing how this process, or how it transfers over from, say, the trainer within the parameters of a drive-based type of training dynamic, where again, the working dog trainer, again, this is very common, they'll try to work out a desired result through a drive-based type of training standard, where the dog is expressing that drive, and they're at certain points of the process, they're actually bringing online, incorporating aspects of influence and discipline. But the thing to understand is, again, talking about how it is that it can work out fine for some trainers, some working dog trainers. However, when you transfer that over, once that trainer establishes a certain result, and that the intent is to transfer that over to the owner of the dog, the handler of the dog, is that what can happen is, based on, again, going back to this issue of relationship, and once that dog has, again, achieved or been able to gain a level of control through that original owner, okay, then the problem in and with that is that represents fulfillment to that dog. That it plays a significant role with that dog, based on their thinking processes, where that's been kind of been a pathway, or the way a dog has associated and related and interacted with that owner, being able to express that state of fulfillment over a period of, and this is where, again, you have to look at the time frame, weeks and months and sometimes years. And because, again, this kind of transference, relationship transference thing that's going on between, again, the working dog person gaining a certain standard, a certain level of relational change. But here's the problem, is that picture itself, based on not understanding the context of control, the motives of dogs, and you can't just go by response alone. Again, this is where dogs will begin to fade even that working dog trainer out of the picture at a certain level, and hold control, a certain level of control. And this is where you don't have the focus and the consistency, even within achieving a certain result. It could be over 3 or 4 weeks. And then so then transferring that over, you're not just transferring the dog, you're transferring it could be a counterfeit picture to a certain level over as well. So the dog already has, you transfer over that dog, yes, you've achieved a certain level of relational change, you've cleaned things up somewhat in terms of establishing the relational change, but the dog is still, through that narrative, the dog is still holding a level of control. That transfers back to that original owner, who, again, the dog had a level of fulfillment control over in the relationship for a certain period of time. Okay, that matters. And then you're not just transferring that, then you're transferring a certain ideology over that incorporates this learning narrative in, that again even then causes another problem by way of the process. So this is why it's really important to understand, when you're sequencing these things out, you have to understand how these things come together, the process, how to make sure that the process is defining that process for what's happening between the dog and owner in a certain point in time, okay, by understanding where you're at. Because here's the thing, if you don't understand where you're at, how are you supposed to know where you're going? Okay, that's the problem really happening in dog training world. So, but again, this issue about working off of these relational dynamics between, certain types of processes, then thinking you're going to transfer that over and not have a problem, and then things can look a certain way but not be. And then here's the issue. Then you got the dog with, again, back to the same issue, lack of focus, things are washing out. You still got, well, it must be the dog's fault again, right? It must be genetic or something wrong. That dog will never be up at that level you want the dog to be, and you're just, whereas if you've actually, and here's the thing, the way it should work, okay, if you have a dog owner, that dog is gaining control in the relationship, a very high drive dog, you have to focus on that owner first, okay? You have to get the relationship right at that level first. I wouldn't be transferring that over to, in another context of another trainer like that and expect to transfer that over, you need to make sure you fix the relationship where it's at. Okay, but the process itself, and here's some of the problems here in that. The process itself could throw people off because it's got to be specific. So then people think, well, then you're suppressing the drive of the dog. Okay, you're using aversive stuff, obedience, and all these different things. People have see these working dog trainers. Some of these have certain ideas about this, right? They can't get their head around it about what the process represents and the sequencing. You're not ruining the dog's drive at all. You're getting the relationship right. Okay, so even the context of how the methodology works with this system, the integrity of that, through the leashes and how the interactions work, is about defining what's reasonable and the dog coming into agreement with it. Okay, getting that aligned, getting those control issues fixed. That's where the focus then comes online, and then, and only then, you start to re-engage the drives of the dog, start to build those bridges, let those drives start to manifest, come out. But then they're in harmony, relational harmony between dog and owner within the parameters of meaningful influence. Okay, this is where commands come online. Everything works out just fine because you got the relationship fixed properly through the right process through that dog and owner. That's really important to understand this. So again, getting old people, and this is the problem with some of these dog owners, they can't get over themselves. They have a kind of Rockwell picture, a Christmas postcard picture of just, they look at these working dog and trainers and they assume certain things that, I want that, and I can just jump over, I can just jump right to that and he can do it for me and then transfer it. It doesn't work that way. Or it can, if it does work out, trust me, there's things happening that working dog trainer is not aware of, truly being intentional about it. And the chances of that happening in certain parameters of certain things going on are very, slim to none for some dog owners based on how they're thinking. So again, really important, you have to understand the processes, how they fit, where you're at, what your goals are, but how to achieve those goals, the right sequencing of the process, understanding the process at a deeper level. That's really one of the things that's missing in the dog training world, whether it's working dogs or whatever. Because here's the end result. If you want a desired result, you could have the dog with an incredible drive. That's a missed opportunity because of how the processes are working, how the sequencing's working, how it's coming together. There's so much confusion out there. So again, I encourage you, if you're looking for answers regarding how these things come together, if you have a working dog and you have a dog that you're trying to achieve a certain result, contact me. Be more than happy to answer your questions. Be more than happy to get you on the right path and understand these issues related to making sure that you can maximize the relationship you have with your dog, and your dog truly can be the superstar dog in whatever you're doing. So thanks for watching.